a viewer here who said, what an irony that the West has used Indian poverty to mint money. You have children with their eyes gouged out. You have children being brutalized and forced into pits of excrement. You know, as an activist for children, is this fair? Is it a fair depiction?
Well, I think that unfortunately is the reality for children, hundreds and thousands of children all across India, and especially the street children and in urban India. If you go out and look there and talk to children and hear their stories, you will hear horrific stories of violence and abuse from almost every single child you meet. So I don't think that it's an unfair depiction at all. I mean, I haven't personally seen the movie. I've talked to people who've seen it, but from what I've read and what I've heard, it isn't an unfair depiction. I mean, I wish it were, but it isn't.
So, in fact, this sort of film is necessary because it raises awareness.
It is, and it sort of surprises me that it should take a Western film to kind of raise that awareness. And if it's raised that awareness and made people actually look at those children.
But let me bring Anita Kaul Basu in here. Anita Kaul Basu, is it precisely the Western gaze that the West also rewards? Because if an Indian had made a film about a slum, I mean, we know that Ram Gopal Verma made Satya. Now, that didn't get the kind of, the mafia in a slum, that didn't get this kind of accolade. So is it that, you know, the realities of India are acceptable in the West when documented by the Westerner?
I think the nature of, yes, we've had a lot of films. I mean, you name even a single film that Amitabh Bachchan has done, or anybody. They are about, some part it is about slums. It is about a kid who grows up on the roads. Okay, I mean, you name the biggest films we've done. They have depicted slums in various forms. So what are we getting all antsy about? At the end of the day, what I saw there was not, you know, from the point of view of the way Danny sees it or way a white man sees it. I just saw it as a piece of reality which is depicted in a way that it really touches you. It is the human emotion. It is drama at the end of the day. It just happens to be that he's picked up.
So you're saying there's not really a recognizable, there's no recognizable Western perspective. But Simon Denyer, is that fair?
Any of it?
Is that fair? Though?
I didn't see any of it.
Isn't there a need, Simon Denyer, on the part of news organizations also to really look at the sort of real India? You know, when we had Rahul Gandhi take the British Foreign Secretary to the Dalit hut, a lot of people wrote that this was a case of international humbug. That this was really nothing but political posturing. So is there that kind of slight humbug element and the other India element that does creep into news reportage when the Western reporter is reporting on India?
Look, I think the Western reporter, you actually get a lot more, in fact, in terms of Western reporting about Bangalore than you do about Bihar. So I don't think there's any particular desire to show the wrong side of India. In fact, the world has been bombarded with a very positive image of India in the last few years, of India as an emerging power. So I think the message that people are getting in the West at the moment is not uniformly about Indian poverty, far from it. And the other point I wanted to pick up on, I mean, Danny Boyle is a very high-profile, famous director who's made, by all accounts, another good film. I don't think Indians should feel sensitive that this film is winning accolades or getting attention because it's about Indian poverty, and that struck a chord.
Okay, but I'm going to pick you up.
I think if you talk to most Westerners recently, they'd have name a film about India recently that's come out, which, you know, in the last 10 years, they'd have said Monsoon Wedding. That's not a film about
politics. But when we come back, I'm going to pick up and persist on this controversial line of questioning and ask, A.R. Rahman has made lots of good music. He's done music for Roja, for Bombay, for Guru. Why is it that he's only got awards for Slumdog Millionaire? We'll come back to that after this tiny break.
आजा आजा जिंद शामी आने के तले आजा जरी वाले नीले आसमाने के तले जय हो